Good morning, afternoon, evening. I don't know what it is where you are, but whatever it is, hey, it's good to see you. Well, here we go, 6 o'clock in the morning. These early live streams, they're not very popular, but it works to not try and step on other people's live streams. And so I guess we just put them where they are. We'll see if anybody actually shows up. We'll see how things are going. Let's see here. Ace Bachelor Cool up early this morning. Good morning from his secret location in Angeles City, Philippines. Good to see you, Ace. I'm glad. I'm sure you're gone by now. You pop in and out. Excuse me. But it's hope the kid's doing well. Hope Caleb's doing well. Hope you're doing well. Been watching your videos, so everybody's thoughts go out to you, and of course everything else that's going on. So much going on, really. Tim Deziak, good morning, Tim. How are you? Thank you for joining us. Okay. Klinsky. Good morning, Klinsky. How are you? Good to see you. Bruce Cinder, I saw the building that is now in the street. No kidding. What a horror story. And we're going to touch on that during this live stream as well. That'll be one of the topics that will be open for discussion, that's for sure. There's going to be some heads that roll. And I guarantee you there's some people that have already left the country. That was a complete failure. Bruce says the building made international news. It was on the BBC. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big deal. It really is. Good morning, Slick Rick, one of our moderators. Thank you for dropping in, Slick. How's things in San Francisco? My thoughts, Tim says, asking Mike your thoughts on the building collapse yesterday. We'll cover that in just a few minutes. Let's wait. Let's give it about 10 minutes for the to the room to build up and let people get in. McLovin, good morning, McLovin. How are you? How's things going on? Good morning, Jerry. How are you? Jerry Newman. Good morning from Angeles City, Pampanga. Yep. Brewer fan. Hey, Mike, I stopped in to say hi. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much, Brewer. Thank you so much, Brewer. I really appreciate it. Thanks for dropping in. We certainly appreciate it. That there's no doubt about it whatsoever. We appreciate, we have a really good community. I'm often surprised at the number of views our videos get. And I think it's because it shows that a large percentage of our subscribers still watch us. So that's just a great thing. It really is, and we appreciate it. I'm saying that. Sunset Travel, good morning, early live. Yeah, I've been doing these at 6 o'clock in the morning now. It gets out of everybody else's way. It gives me a little something to do, and we can take care of it from there. So, Mango and Cash. Good morning, Mango and Cash. How are you? Things are good in the city, Mike. Just getting tired of paying upwards of $7 a gallon. Yeah, I imagine you are. I see the price of oil went down. I haven't looked at it today, but yesterday afternoon the price of oil was down to $100 a barrel. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see how that goes. And so let me tell you, first off, folks, what it is we're going to cover today. The first one is obviously one of the things on everybody's mind is the building that collapsed over by over on Theodora Street, and the ongoing efforts and what's going on with that. The second thing is I'm going to follow up on my tax issue because, quite frankly, the two videos that I have done since this channel started that have gotten me the most email, all right? One was, well, we're not even going to go into that one because it was kind of controversial. And then the second one is this tax issue. And I can't believe what some people think or say. So, what's the latest on the trapped workers in the building? Well, the latest that I have seen is they are still working on it. And I will tell you, Bruce, with the heat being what it is, it's going to be a difficult situation. If you take a look at the photos and the pictures and the video, and I'm not going to put any of that up because basically it's all over the news. This thing pancaked. All 6 or 9 stories just came crashing down. It covers the street. There's a pile of debris 30 some odd feet high. It's really, really just unbelievable. I mean, you would think a highly destructive bomb went off. That's how bad it's all twisted and mangled and busted up. I mean, we're not talking about large sections. We're talking about everything's in pieces, and it is going to take forever. I suspect it'll be a year before they get that stuff cleaned up. I mean, that's not first off, Theodora Street, the street that this is on, is not a big street. And they're going to have to be hauling crap out of there forever. Now, I did say somebody made a comment in a live stream that the news was doing yesterday that said, you know what? Just let all the Filipinos that gather scrap metal at it, and they'll bust that stuff up and have it cleaned up in no time. And hey, who knows? But there's going to be inspections. There's going to be a lot going on. So we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth. Paul Rogers, good morning, Paul. How are you doing? Hi, Mike. Sitting here with several expats tuned into your channel. Please, how nice. Big old shout out to Gabriel and Kenneth, their wife here playing bingo. Good for them. Good for them. Amigo 2K. Good morning, Amigo. How are you? Good to see you. I'm glad. It's Amigo's been around with us for a while. Nice that you have time to drop in on us. Several other businesses have been damaged, Tim says. Yes. I see that Amigos is shut down. I imagine Norma's has probably been affected. It's going to be a horror story for a ton of people. The building next door to it was damaged as well. I mean, there's this thing literally looks like a bomb went off. I can't think of a better way to describe it. I really can't. And it's tragic. It is simply tragic. And, it's difficult. Bruce says a man in the hotel. Yeah. Wasn't that a Red Doors Inn next door, if I'm not mistaken? I could be mistaken. That's for sure. I heard that there was a Red Doors Inn that was damaged as well. There's just so much. I don't know what the final body count is going to be with respect to those that expired and those that, um, um, let's see here. You know what? I forgot to do something. Let me try and take care of something real quick here. I don't know if I can. Hold on a second. I have to make an adjustment. Um, and I knew I was going to forget something. I was a little preoccupied this morning, so I kind of forgot a few things. But there we go. I apologize. Truly, I do. But yeah, definitely some problems. Tim says, "Did you hear any noise?" So, it's funny you say that, Tim. Here's what happened. So the storm that came through was severe, really, really severe. Um, in fact, if you know where we live at Candy Palace, we're 1.5 blocks over from all of the Candy Towers. We couldn't even see Candy Tower. That's Tower 3, Tower 2, Tower 1, Grosvenor. We couldn't even see it. So, it came down and it flooded Narcisco, the street that runs in front of where we live. It was flooded for a while. And with all of that being said, we lost power probably throughout the night. I want to say 3 to 5 times. I know that before I went to bed, we had lost it twice. And each time we only lost, the generators here kicked down. So we're only out for about 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds, maybe 15. All right. But it would last for 10, 15 minutes, and then power back on, main power. So I went to bed. Arlene watched TV. She was watching a Korean drama. Went to bed. I woke up probably about 1:30 in the morning, and I didn't know anything about it. Now, when Arlene woke up, she came to me and she said, "Hey, was there an earthquake last night?" And I said, "No, not that I know of." And I didn't feel anything. But she says, when I woke up to go to the CR, which, we all do, we get up, we go to the CR, we head back to bed. Um, uh, uh, and she said, I felt a little shaking. And I'm like, you didn't feel shit. I mean, here's Arlene, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, all right, as Wong, sometimes her emotions, her imagination can run a little wild, I guess. That's not really true, but, what else can I say? But we're about, I want to say, as the crow flies, maybe 300 yards, 400, let's say no more than 400 yards and maybe a little less than 300 yards as the crow flies from that building. In fact, I can try and pull this up. Let me see if this will work. Hang on. Let's see if this will work. There we go. So this is where the building fell. And this is where we are. So, literally we are, Theodoro is the next street over. Okay. Now it's a big span here. I want to, I want to say, though, that's about 300, 350, no more than 400 yards away. I didn't feel anything, and I was awake when it fell, according to the news reports. But according to Arlene, she said that she thought she felt a little earthquake before she even knew, or we knew, and seen that the building itself fell. So I don't know. I got no idea. I know I didn't hear anything. I know I didn't see anything. None of that. But, the next day when you go and you take a look, because you can only get so close to this thing, okay? You can only get so close to it. They've got it, majority of it blocked off for ongoing rescue operations. But you can see all of these electrical lines go. So if this is where it was, so 3 streets up, Oak Street, Dino, and then Fields Avenue, there's lines down, transformers down. I mean, it pulled electrical. It's going to take a tremendous amount of time to clean all of that up. It really is. So, did we hear anything? I didn't. Arlene says she felt something, but that was beforehand. So I don't know. Amigo. It had to be build quality for the material to the people building that building is the problem. Like, how does rainstorm? You know what? There have been a couple of different theories that we've seen so far. The first theory is that the rain caused a sinkhole. You can tell this thing angled and fell a little bit. But it wouldn't have taken much. The second thing is I don't know those of you that know CJ abroad. CJ said he was at Amigos a couple days beforehand, saw that building, and thought to himself, hey, you know what? They're building those support pillars out of rebar and hollow block, that it wasn't poured concrete. Now, I don't know, but certainly I don't see how you would put a support system of rebar on a 6 to 9 story building. Brooks Rick. Good morning, Brooks Rick. It's good to see you. Amigo. More than a rainstorm. I couldn't open the back balcony door. It was so strong coming in sideways. Yeah, it was probably the strongest weather event I have seen in years here. I mean, we've gotten rainstorms where, it was coming down so hard we couldn't see 50 yards, 75 yards. But the wind and everything else that was going along with it, it was there. So, I mean, it was, and there is a photo of a funnel cloud over by SM Mall. But I think that might be an AI photo that somebody made, and that's why I'm not going to bring it up. Sunset, yeah, Amigo says, yeah, I get that, but it still doesn't make sense. I think there was a build. Oh, I agree, Amigo. I think there was a build quality, architectural or engineering issue, or materials even. Could have been cheap rebar. Could have been, one of the things that worries me the most about all of these things is, in the Philippines, they build with cement and concrete. And if they don't get that mix correctly, and they mix by hand sometimes, if they were doing that, and it's not unusual that they'd be mixing by hand, floor by floor by floor, You know, in the U.S., I don't know how it is elsewhere, but in the U.S., when a cement truck pulls up outside a construction area, and it's a big construction site, they actually have 3 samples of cement, and all 3 of those get tested. You know, as to is it the correct mix? Is it the correct hardness? Is it the correct setup? I don't know. I know they do it here. I've seen it, but I don't know how strict they are on that. And certainly when you're hand mixing concrete, you know, in the typical 3-2-1, that is not going to hold it. So who knows? Sunset, agreed. Oh my goodness. Super chat from Alaska CPU. Mike here also saw your live event and decided to listen for a bit. I always give to fit. Well, thank you so much. Thank you. We certainly appreciate it. You know, we don't make money on YouTube, but we certainly don't turn it down. And that's going to bring up the second issue that we're going to cover is my tax issue. We're going to cover that because of some of the comments that I got. But thank you. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate. You know what? I've got 2 expat friends. Chuck, who's been here for, I don't know, going on 15, maybe 17 years. He's been here, retired from American Airlines years ago. And Paul, he's a kind of like a real estate nomad type of guy. He's both of them in their 80s. They're both 80 years old, are in Alaska as of yesterday. They both, Chuck had some buddy passes that were going to go bad. And so he said, hey, I'm going to go to Alaska and do a little sightseeing. And so they used the buddy passes last week. And I actually saw a post on Facebook from Paul saying they had arrived. So we've got expat friends from Angeles sitting in Alaska right now. Thank you so much. We certainly appreciate it. Let's see here. I missed one. I'm sorry. I was stressing the rooftop pool is above my condo. No kidding. You know, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It really and truly does. I think you always have to be conscious of it. So I'm surprised those lines haven't fallen. Yeah, you know, and it also makes you wonder how many of those lines are actually necessary. I think that they just disconnect one and reconnect another. I don't know. The spaghetti on the poles, the utility poles here is horrible. Oh, another super chat. My God. Amigo 2K, how you doing? Always a pleasure. You know what? It's always good to hear from you. How is your LDR doing? I think she's in Manila, if I remember correctly, amigo. I can't remember. I hope it's all doing well. Ugly Tourist, they have it blocked from all. Yeah, they do. Ugly Tourist, James, if none of you have ever been to his channel, give it a look. That's for sure. James and Ding and Little Samurai and Mini Me, although she's in the province right now. But yeah, James, they've got it blocked all the way around. You can't really get close to it unless you're some sort of VIP and you know somebody or something. You can't. You can't get close to it, and it's going to be a while. Alaska CP, awesome. Yeah. I heard the sink, but how do you not check the ground beforehand? Yeah, I'm not a structural engineer. I got no idea, amigo. I really don't. you're talking about stuff that's just far outside of my realm of knowledge. I am not a construction guy. I've built buildings, which means I hired a general architect, a general contractor, and they subbed it all out. All right. I've built medical office buildings. I've built houses, but I can't drive a nail straight, unfortunately. That's just the honest truth. Thank you for that super sticker. Absolutely. Slick Rick, what up? I see you here and there in different. Yeah, of course. Slick Rick's one of our moderators. He's been around with us for a long time. We certainly appreciate it and all his effort. Same in Cavite, the wind is what kills homes if not built right. I don't know. I know, in the province, the homes we've seen, and we have a home in Mindanao, and I took extra care when we built that to make sure that the roof was all secured and everything else when we built it. But we've seen homes lose half their roofs down in Mindanao. Mango and Cash, you said you don't know how they would use hollow blocks on a 9-story building in the Philippines for support. I'm almost betting you 80% of any building over 3 floors in the Philippines could come down anytime. Oh, Mango, I'm not debating that. I watch the way Candy builds, and they bring in cement trucks. And literally, when they built Palace, for instance, which is 14 floors, they use pumps, and all the way up from these cement trucks. But I'm sure many people do not. There's no doubt in my mind. Amigo, what's up, brother? Yeah, I like watching. Yeah, Rick gets information everywhere. I think he's also a moderator over at Richie Rich's channel, him and Chang. Haven't seen them in a while, but I see they're doing okay, so that's good. That's good. Wow. 28 minutes in, 51 in the room. This is a little bit unusual to get this many people. Did your plants on the balcony survive? Yeah, they did fine. We keep them kind of, let me rephrase that. Our Lynn keeps them trimmed up and they're reasonably mature. And so they did fine. They're not big, things by any way, shape, or means. If there was hail, yes, there was hail. If there was hail, there may have been a funnel cloud. The two go hand in hand. There was hail. There is video footage of hail in a couple of different places here in Angeles City. We didn't see any. There was a lot of lightning in that storm, so I wasn't on the balcony for a lot of it. I did go out, take a little bit of video, but I mean, everybody's seen. I took the video to send to my daughter and said, hey, guess what? Week after next, this is what you're flying into, because my daughter will be here week after next. So I sent that to her. McLovin, they definitely need a tester there doing a concrete slump and air test. Yeah, McLovin's been in the construction business before, commercial construction. And so, yeah, but I don't know how that works. I really don't. Building codes in the Philippines, just think back, flood control programs. There's your answer. Yeah, Mango. And I can even think back to our house build down in the province. So our house build inspection was one. We got one inspection on our house build. Now, we submitted a plan, we submitted drawings, we submitted everything to get the permit, the building permit, all right, and get approval and materials and all that stuff. But we got our one inspection. It was the final inspection, and it lasted for all of about 10 minutes. So it was the build was complete, and they just needed to do this one inspection to give us the city to give us an occupancy permit. So, yeah, I'm not a big believer in the inspections. Mike, after cement is poured and hardened, the concrete must be checked by an engineer for strength. Yeah, it should. It certainly should. All right. There's no doubt about it. And I've seen it. They have like these metal canisters. They're about maybe 8 inches in diameter. And they take a sample. They take 3 of them. And I think they test them at different curing periods or something like that. You know what? I don't know what they do with it. My problem. You know, I just do know that they're supposed to and that they do. But did they do it there? Did they do it? And what were the results? And when did it come back? And how does it work? I got no idea. Alaska CPU. Because of floods, we built our home 12 feet high, solid concrete before the first floor. Wow. We have 2 terraces, which allow people to get dry or saved during typhoons that come through. That's nice. That's nice. Nice deal. Eaton Beaver, willing to bet building materials are from China. It's quite possible. I mean, you know, the concrete didn't come from China, the hollow block didn't come from China, but the rebar. Did the rebar come from China? I mean, I'm going to be interested to see what happens. I really am. All right. Here in the States, when the concrete truck shows up, the tester checks the slump and air before they're allowed to pour. Yeah, I don't know what the slump and air is, to be honest with you, McLovin, but that's makes sense that you're getting the mix you're supposed to get. Okay, we're talking about the new rules revolving around green cards. Do you have any words of wisdom? All here are married to Filipinos. One dad's son just married, no green card yet. Okay, yeah. So let's talk about the new green card rules. So the rules now state that you must apply for your green card, permanent residency, prior to being into the United States. So if you're over there on an H-1B visa, and I got to be really careful. I want you to understand this, all right? There are different ways that Filipinos get to the U.S., different work visas, okay? And if you're a specialist, a specialty person, a specialty engineer, you're willing to go to an underserved area, you're over there, it's what's called an H-1B visa. It has an entry date, it has an exit date. If you're over there, if your Filipinos over there on an H-1B visa, they could apply while they were on their H-1B visa for a green card. No more. No more. They're no longer allowed to do that. Secondarily, let's talk about the nurses. All right. The vast majority of the nurses that go to the U.S. do not go on H-1B visas anymore. That ended years ago. They are sponsored through agencies 7 out of 10 times. Sometimes hospitals sponsor them. All right. They go through that green card application and everything before they even arrive. Most of the vast majority of the nurses from the Philippines that go to the U.S. already have green cards. I don't see it being such a big deal. If you're going over on a K1 visa, okay, then what happens is it's called a change of status. You're a temporary, all right, you get married on that K1 visa. You've got that 90-day window, all right, and then it's a change of status. That remains in place as well. So that's what I know about that so far. What's up, Eaton Beaver? Alaska pays good wages. Yeah, it does. I had some friends when I was a young guy. I knew people that moved to Alaska to work on the Alaska pipelines. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, they were getting paid well, and that's why they did it. Mango and Cash. Only codes in Philippines is to the wealthiest people's safes. There you go. Alaska. Sorry, banks have a tough safe. I'm not sure I understand that. Okay, but we'll go with it. Amigo, the LDR, we're doing well. Still, thankfully, the challenge is trying to show her how to prepare for the future. You know what? That's a challenge that we all face. You know, it's not that we face such a challenge. It's not that it's such a challenge that it's a mountain. Okay? It's a challenge first off because as a responsible partner, don't you want their future to be the best it can be? That or at least the best opportunities that you can get provided. And so you want that. You want that to be that way. Then you want to try and help financially educate them, no more different than you would your partner in the U.S. It's the same thing. I don't know what makes people think that Western women aren't just as messed up or less, any different than Filipino women. Sure, the culture is different. There's no doubt about that. The culture is different. And it takes a little working through that for them to recognize money today is money tomorrow. Don't just spend it today. But that's a cultural issue depending on how they were raised and where they were raised. Slick Rick, it's truly my pleasure. Thank you. Oh, anytime. Amigo, LDRs are pretty tough, brother. All the best to you both. Long distance relationships are a challenge, and that's just all there is to it. In more ways and many different ways. Amigo, I met Richie Rich at the Power Plant Mall last year. Good dude. But I always go visit Michael every time I go to the Philippines from the channel, that Philippines Life. He's a good dude. I have never met either one of them, but they both seem to be like great people. I watch Richie's channel. We watch him and Chang, Ricardo, Pablo Chicano, ¿cómo está, amigo? How are you doing? Let's go. Just our 12-inch foundation took 6 months to completely pipe and wire 3-inch. See, that's nice. There you go. Somebody was doing it. Pablo, ¿qué tal, hermano? ¿Cómo está? Muy bien, senor. It's always good to see Pablo. Pablo's been around our channel since way back when. Eaton Beaver. Remember the building in Thailand year back or so, Chinese? Yeah, that's true. And they did blame that on Chinese rebar. That was a Shit, that was a like 20 plus story building that fell. And they blamed that on rebar, on Chinese rebar. I don't know whatever happened to the contractors on that, though. Alaska in 2012, that home, 3-story, 5-bedroom, 2 terraces, gated driveway, 3 million pesos. But we were lucky because it was the right time to build. Yeah, you can build as big as you can afford. And man, I got to tell you, it is whatever it is that makes you happy. That's what's important. The slump is you fill a cone that is 12 inches tall, then you remove the cone and the concrete will fall down a bit, depending on how dry or wet the mix is. Measure from the cone to the top of the cone. Okay. All right, Bobby. And by the way, Bobby, good morning. And that's interesting. That's real interesting. Okay. I didn't know what the slump was. I don't know how to do any of that. 18 years, pension is well over $3,000 a month, but pensions don't exist anymore. Yeah, traditional pensions don't exist. You can thank IBM for that. IBM is who literally murdered the pension system back in the 70s. They got in big trouble with, and that's a whole different long explanation. But yeah, that's when, people had to find an alternative, real defined benefit plan, DB plan, pensions. Very few people have those nowadays. Bobby Gill, they check the air of the mix in a contraption that looks like a pressure cooker. All right. Again, you guys know more about this stuff than I did. Has the building collapse caused any unscheduled? A ton of them, Klinsky. We didn't have any yesterday. We had power. The last power outage that we experienced was about, I want to say about 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And since then, it's been fine. All right. We haven't had anything since then. But I expect over the next year, we're going to see a more frequent power outage in the air. Because, all of the electrical for blocks around that place are going to have to be redone. Good morning to you, a good Big Al. How you doing, Big Al? James Gilbert, how you doing, James? Good to hear from you. Thanks for joining. Okay, so now let me rant just a little bit of a rant here. So I put out a video about this unexpected tax issue. And this tax issue was totally my fault. Totally my fault. I said this in the video, my fault. All right. The amount of emails that I got were quite funny. Actually, more than, right up there with more email. I've never gotten that many emails, but except on one other video. And that was a controversial live stream that I did. And you can guess about that one. But so here's, one of them was, hey, Mike, you should have said how much it was exactly. You would have been more drama. You should have told us more about it. You should have done this. I still like you, but all right. I didn't say how much it was exactly. It was 5 digits. I said that. And that was all I needed to say. And why didn't I say that? Well, I didn't say it because there are specific people and specific instances where when somebody talks about money, they're either bragging or begging, one of the other, one or the other. And I didn't want to get accused of that. I didn't want to get accused of saying, oh my God, look how little this is, and it shouldn't bother him at all. Or, oh my God, look how much. It wouldn't have mattered if I had told people it was $5, $500, or $500,000. It wouldn't have mattered at all. And even then, withholding that amount of information didn't matter. But let me explain, all right? Let me explain what happened. So in 2023, I'm sorry, I was in the midst of selling off the last of my business. But the way my business was set up, I had one master company, and all the other clinics functioned as independent S corps under, and C corps, depending on which one, under that company. So when I sold the companies, people bought those imaging centers. And when they bought those imaging centers, think about it for a minute. When you buy something, you never in business, I guess there are certain specific circumstances where it works, but you don't buy cash. You don't buy money. That's silly to buy money. You can actually borrow money cheaper than you can buy money. So in all of these businesses, there's an accounts receivable. We have all these clinics. All these clinics perform services, medical services. We bill the patient, and then the patient pays, insurance pays, and then, or they pay. But if insurance pays, then they have their deductible or their copay or whatever, and we have to collect that. Well, with the number of clinics that I had a large number of clinics, all right, across multiple states, okay? And with that large number of clinics, the master company had a billing department. And that billing department really was a billing company that we subcontracted the responsibility to collect, all right? So they would do the billing to Medicare, Medicaid, Blue Cross, Humana, Kaiser, the individual patient. They would collect it. They'd get a percentage of collections and put the rest into our account. All right. And they would keep track of each patient. So, I had literally, after 20 years, literally tens of thousands of accounts that owed money. And one of the reasons, now I know this sounds excessive, some of these people will never pay, okay? But one of the things that was different about our clinics, okay? One of the things that was different was that if you came into my clinic, especially in some of the lower moderate income areas, and you couldn't afford it to pay in full, you couldn't afford, whatever was, let's say, number one, you couldn't afford the exam at all and you didn't have insurance. Number two, you had a major deductible and you couldn't afford all of that at once. We would, or your copay was going to be whatever. We kind of I saw things differently. I wasn't going to turn you away. If you were able to put 30% down, because 30% was going to cover my paperwork expense, my malpractice expense, my employee expense. All right. If you could put that amount down, I would put you on a payment plan. And I did this for 20 years. It was sort of like, giving back a little bit to the community in my way. Maybe not as much as you would think, but sure. All right. So I've got all this money in accounts receivable and I'm collecting payments. I mean, I had, sometimes I would have little old ladies that were paying me $10 a month for 2 years. That's fine. If they're making the effort, I'm happy to do it. So when it came time in the end, all right, now granted, if you didn't make your payments, if you didn't attempt to do it, if you didn't work with us, all right, the billing company would then send you to a collections agency. So those accounts are written off to collection agency. And the collection agency would charge, they would charge anywhere between 30 and 45% of collections. And some of these numbers were big though. I mean, we used to have patients that we called frequent flyers. These are patients that would come into our clinics and literally would rack up tens of thousands of dollars. So, but they're making payments and we're happy to continue because we're working with them and then we're working with their referring physician. Their doctor says, hey, you know what? I need this exam done on this patient. And at Mike's place, I can get it done if they're willing to do that. So in the end, in 2023, I sell out all these companies. Well, the one thing you don't sell is the accounts receivable, unless I'm sure there are instances where it makes sense to do that. But most companies do not want to buy accounts receivable because, it's sometimes it's akin to what's called factoring. All right. It's called accounts receivable factoring is one of the words that's used to describe it. So I've got all of this. Well, in 2023, I said, I'm over it. I'm shutting down. I want to be done. I want to close the companies out. Okay. And I sold all of those accounts receivables for like 13 cents, 17 cents on the dollar. Okay. I mean, all of those accounts were over 2 years old. So, you're not going to get a whole lot. So it was about, I want to say it was about maybe like 13 cents on the dollar. Well, here's what happened. All of that money, I thought what I got for my accounts receivable, I thought was corporate money. But I didn't realize I had set that up to where it was personal money. And so I didn't report that to my CPA because I assumed he had it. All right. I'm assuming that he had it. And also in 2023, I had several other large business transactions in closing out the last company. So I missed it. And that's what happened. Okay. It was a mistake on my end. That is what happened. All right. I miscategorized it. I didn't recognize it was personal income. All right. Because there's no 1099 on it. It was a business transaction. I am selling you the rights to collect this money for this amount of money. There's no 1099 on that. Okay. So I screwed up and I admitted this in the video, but people just did not understand. Now, the second thing that comes up was I got these crazy emails. I got several of these, all right, that were, hey, didn't you know you've got to report your YouTube income? Don't you, don't you know you have to do that? You have to post that and pay taxes. Okay, let's cover that. Number one, I report all my YouTube income. I get a 1099 from someplace in California. I can't remember where it is. All right, Mountain View maybe or something like that. All right, and that gets reported. This had nothing. If I had made enough money on YouTube to have a 5-digit taxable event, I'd be like rich. And I'm not rich. Okay? I don't consider myself rich. And I certainly don't consider this channel making a ton of money. I got to tell you, all right, this channel didn't even make 5 digits last year, and it probably will never make 5 digits. Okay? That's just the bottom line. For me to end up with a 5-digit taxable income, where did these people come up with the idea that I didn't report that? Had nothing to do with YouTube. So that is the bottom line. So I've explained those two things. Now, let's go and get some questions and comments here. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Sleek Rick. Welcome. Bobby Gill, the way they tie the rebar, I believe it wouldn't be more of a factor than the quality of the size, how it's tied together. Yeah, again, you're getting into engineering stuff that I don't know anything about. Mike K, do we have a backup? Yes. And it takes about 10 seconds. If the power goes out in less than 10 seconds, our emergency power is back on. Big Al in the Philippines, I'm number 20 on likes there. Thank you so much, Big Al. Slick Rick, right on. Good morning. Hector Gubar, how are you doing, Hector? Would like to see a video about FATCA and FBAR filing obligations and consequences of not filing. Well, Hector, I would probably consider doing that, except I'm not a CPA or tax attorney, and I would be very worried I would give you bad information. So, I wish, we file a FATCA. All right. I have accounts over here, so therefore I file it. But the depth, breadth, and what the consequences and obligations are, I don't want to. I hate to put out information that could lead you astray. Bill, I can't believe there was loggers actually driving to the scene of the collapsed building. Just filmed the disaster. Kind of tacky. I know it's all about clicks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, they were. Absolutely. Out of curiosity, they want to see it too. Secondarily, they may want to be verifying it. You know how vloggers are. There's nothing they enjoy more than calling another vlogger a liar for putting out misinformation. So, wouldn't surprise me. But it's all over the news. And that's why I'm not presenting photos. You can go on the news and you can certainly see everything. There's no sense for me to go down there and try and film it. Simon Peters, can you clear something up, please? The British channel refers to you a lot, but I cannot work out if it is banter or something more negative. I'm confused. Okay, so you're talking about Australian British John. John and I, all right, let me try and be straight up. John and I were raised in totally different cultures, totally different locations, totally different times. And we have totally different outlooks. All right? Totally different. John was raised with a silver spoon up his ass. I was raised in a lower middle income working family. Okay? I am who I am, and he is who he is. He believes that you should live what he calls or thinks is a simple life, and his idea of what is simple. In fact, I did a video on this yesterday, and I'm sure he'll do, or if he hasn't already, done something that counteracts it. He does it for clicks. All right. His channel's been dying for years, and he doesn't care because you know what? John puts out information that's relevant to him, how he believes, what he believes in, and what he thinks will help. And I can't fault him for that. Do I agree with his information? No. Do I appreciate what he says about me sometimes? No. But then I haven't had the fondest thoughts for him either. I mean, I believe, there's a lot I could say. In fact, you know what? Let's do this. I will open the comments up right now. Okay? I will open up the panel. All right? Let me get the link. Okay? And I will post it. And it should have posted there. So there's the link. So if anybody wants to cam up and talk about different things, I'm happy to do so, including John. And it's not that I hate John. I don't. He looks for something that he can find a counterpoint or an argument to and create a video. And that's what bloggers do when you have no content. And he has no content. He just doesn't. He doesn't do anything. So, I mean, no, it's not banter. It's certainly not friendly banter. I've told John before, we'll never be friends, but we could be acquaintances. I would love to sit down one day with John and have coffee or a soda or whatever it is that turns him on. But he won't ever do it. And that's all the same. Okay, is Fields Ave and Red Street the same street? Yes, Fields Ave and Red Street. They tried to they wanted to try and make Red Street. No, is Fields Ave and Red Street the same? No, Red Street is Walking Street. It used to be Walking Street. They tried to rebrand it as Red Street. And that went over like a fart in a bathtub. And so, but is it the same road? Yes. Fields Avenue goes down to the beginning of Walking Street, splits into a Y. To the right is Walking Street, Red Street. To the left is still Fields Ave, and that goes down to the Circle of Death traffic circle at MacArthur Ave. Alaska CPU gifted 20. Oh my God, 20 memberships, and I haven't put out any membership videos in so long. All right, now I'm going to be forced. I thought I had shut that down. Well, first off, thank you so much, Alaska CPU. That's incredible. Now you're making me work harder. You're going to make me work harder. Okay, I got to figure out how to own up to that. My gosh. Ace Batch Tom got a one. Alaska CPU membership. Membership. Man, everybody's grabbing them. Everybody's grabbing them. Oh my God. Now I'm actually going to have to work for a damn. Now I have to actually work. Because I can't let Alaska CPU down. It was a very generous and nice thing. My God. Now I got to start doing that. Okay. Received a gift membership. Amigo got one. Jeremy got one. I'm just going to read them off rather than throw them all up there. Gerald, Etano Time, Paul. My God. My God. Wow. Jeez. All these people that were lurking, all grabbed them. Good for them. Good for them. Thank you so much, Alaska CPU. My middle-aged adventures got one. Oh. Vikings of Norway got one. Wow, nice. Thank you. Now I'm going to have to actually work. Thank you so much, Alaska CPU. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know how else to describe it. Looks like you were a recipient of your membership gifts. How cool is that? It's a good deal. Jerry says, I appreciate free membership. Yeah, you'll have to grab them when they come out, Jerry. Ace Bachelor to him. Mike, do you have a photo you can post of the building before it collapsed? Actually, I do have a photo, but I don't have it loaded here. But there are photos of it that have been taken in the past 4 or 5 months. I think GMA News, you might want to check, Google them. It's in the luck of the draw. Very good. Wow. Good cement work on that building. Yeah, no kidding, Dano. Something's wrong. And so, Dano, what do you think? Do you think somebody's going to heads or roll, or do you think those heads are already on an airplane out of the country? If I was the foreman on that, I would already be in a different country. Sunset, I think it's funny how people think it's their business regarding your tax. Yeah, I mean, the guys wanted to know the exact amount. And I'm like, hey, I thought I was being very forthright and realistic by saying it's a 5-digit number. It was totally unexpected. And it was totally my fault. I mean, I was very humble about it. Honey Bunny said he was first. Good for him. Good for Honey Bunny. I think he might have been first because that thing probably fell somewhere near where he lived. Brewmeister. Good morning, Brew. How are you? Hope things are going well. Let's see here. We can put this here. And then let me see what I can do here. Hold on. There we go. Dano?
What's up, Mike?
Oh, not too much. How about you, Dano?
All right. Hey, I was just going to ask you, let you know that has to be the case, and some heads may roll, but yeah, that's ruined a lot of other ones around it. That's terrible. That's a shame. Nobody was living in it except the workers. They were working on it. That was just being built, like the one by Tequila Reef.
Yeah. There's actually a photo circulating around that looks like it was taken maybe within the past month of it prior to it falling, to where it's got like not 8 floors up or something like that. It's up there. But no, for it to collapse the way it did, I mean, So something's wrong.
Yeah, something's definitely wrong. Hey, I was gonna reply to Big Al, but putting in text is hard. But the one he says about how the Philippines are having a hard time, their economy's been this way for decades. Okay, so they're used to it. They're used to this when prices, they're having problems. They're just used to it. They don't seem to complain at all. I don't hear anybody ever complain around here about the gas and all that stuff. They deal with it. Only the expats, you hear them talk about how expensive things are. And that, you know what? If you can live like a Filipino here and you come from the States, you got a little more money than them and you can live comfortably. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Uh, you know what? I would say the caveat to that is the only people that I see complaining that are Filipinos are the trike drivers and jeepney drivers. And because it affects them, right then and there.
Yeah.
But I don't see him out preaching to the gospel about it. I don't see him doing a sermon on the mount or anything like that. But shit, some of the expats, you would think you pulled their left nut off, all right, to
Yeah.
pay an extra 50 cents a gallon or $1
Yeah.
a gallon for gas. You would think that
Yeah.
that you just took their second child and put them in bondage.
Yeah. I mean, it's all relative. The economy is not like the States, so they're used to living that way. They can do with little. We're not used to doing with little. That's the behavior, the difference. Like you said with your Australian friend, they come from a different economy, a different culture than we do. We have some things in common, but they look at things in a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I keep asking Arlen, hey, have you talked to your dad lately? Do they need money? Is everything okay? Or, oh, yeah, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's, are they, do they struggle a little bit more? Perhaps. But at the same time, didn't we? I mean, look, Dano, you and I are old enough to remember what it was like, to be making
Oh,
$3.10 an hour minimum wage. And then
I remember
turn,
making $1, man.
okay, I was just pulling that out of here.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I know.
I think my first minimum wage job in the United States, uh, I think it was, I want to say it was like $2 an hour, $2.10 an hour. But either way, you and I are old enough to remember time.
Oh
We
yeah,
adapted. We adapted. I mean, you made a living,
yeah,
and we adapted. And Filipinos adapt as well.
yeah. Well, I can remember those long lines for gas back in the '70s. When
Yes.
everybody had to line up and it was odd and even, and everybody was jamming for long lines for gas. I mean, that hasn't happened in a long time in the States. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we've been through the Cuban Missile Crisis. We've been through the 2000 shit. There's so much stuff that went on. That we've been through, but you get through it. It's just. I just don't see complaining here. I really don't. You hear these guys talk about the trash and this and that, and the trash pickups and all that kind of. It's just what it is, man. You learn to adapt to it, and find out how to get the trash to where it needs to go. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's you know, yeah.
No, there's no doubt. I'm just scrolling through comments. How you been otherwise?
Yeah. I've been good. I just thought I'd come on and just say hello. You know, enjoying life the best you can. You only got one life.
Oh, Philly in the Philippines dropped in. Good morning, Philly.
I just saw a new guy in Saragao blogging, and he came back to Saragao. He says he loves it. He says it's changed, though. A lot more tourists in Saragao now.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
think I
he said
saw.
that.
Do you remember his name?
Yeah, 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 I have to remember it. Yeah, he's just he's like excited and stuff. He just loves it, going around fist pumping all the Filipinos and stuff. And he's a young guy, with long hair, having a good time. And
Yeah.
he loves Saragal, man. He says he loves it, but a lot more tourists there, though.
Yep. To answer Philly's question, you know what? I only know of two two fatalities or as of this time, but there may be other news out there. That's all I
Yeah,
have.
yeah, they actually showed two of them on the news. Believe it or
Yeah,
not, the news cameras tried to get in between the workers and showed them laying there stuck. Oh my God! Who
yeah.
knows how many more in there, huh?
So those are that's all I know so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish people would stop confusing British with Australia. We're on different continents, for God's sakes. Well, all right. First off, yeah and no. All right. Britain is not on a continent. Britain is not a continent. Sunset, you know that. All right. Australia for sure. But now they're talking about British John. And he was
Yeah.
born in Britain, moved to Australia, New Zealand, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. But but that's it. Sorry if we
Yeah.
offended you there, Sunset.
Honey
Oh
Bunny
man.
said he was the first to show the collapse.
Do what?
Honey Bunny said he was the first to show the collapse. He goes, "I'm the first to show the collapse." He was there like 3 in the morning.
Good for him.
Yeah, he got
Good
up,
for him. You know?
and I think Chubbs was the second. He went up on top of another roof and showed the same shot that the news showed
Yeah.
of it. Yeah,
And the problem is though you couldn't get within a block and a half of that place once they
yeah,
got it. Now, Honey Bunny might have been able to get closer because it was he was out and about, all right, doing
yeah.
whatever.
He didn't get closer though, but he was able to stand and find a spot where he could see it. But yeah, it's that has to be open for emergency. That's going to take a while to clean up. That is
Oh,
what a mess. Oh,
it
that's sad.
is. Have you ever been down that street, Teodora?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
it's you can't put two full size vans side by side down
yeah,
that street without worrying about scraping each other. And now you're
yeah,
talking about moving hundreds of yards of every. I mean,
yeah,
because that stuff is just. It's not like that shit just fell. I mean, it destructed. It went into like self destruction when it fell down. It
yeah. I heard
was
a commentator say that that thing was built 23, but they kept putting it off and then starting again. So that's been there a long time.
oh really?
You
I did
know,
not know that.
yeah,
So
23. They said, yeah,
so the foundation for that's been there since 2023.
yeah. That's
Now
when
it
it got
makes me
started.
worry about the building over there beside Tequila Reef.
Oh
All right.
man, yeah.
I don't
Oh
want to be
boy,
I don't want to be there having breakfast one morning and it just rolled over and takes us all out.
because that's been there quite a while too, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's been there like
Yeah,
10 years. You know,
might be the same guys that did the cement on the other one.
and for those of you that don't know, Dano and Pinoy um, drop by for breakfast occasionally over at Tequila Reef. And so we run into him. He has a great channel, very straightforward, very everything cigar talk. And, if you'll wait till the live, I don't know. I don't even have a link to your channel I can
No,
get
I
to.
don't. I don't monetize it. I just put out little funny shorts sometimes and stuff. That's all. I don't monetize. I do it for fun. Yeah, I'm not looking for. I don't need to have views and get money. You know what I mean? I don't need that. That's good for me. I mean, you know,
Yeah,
when I first came here, I tried it one day and I said, "Nah, I'm not doing this stuff."
yeah. Um,
I love the less drama. I just like watching it. I just like watching
I'll
it.
tell you, it has gotten to the point now that um, it is just going to be drama. You know,
Yeah.
it has. I'll be honest with you. That live stream that I did with Heidi, I have never gotten so much hate mail on any video.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody gets that. That are YouTubers. They all get that stuff. That's just it's the nature, the culture of YouTube. You know,
Uh oh.
you're gonna have those people.
I don't know whether I hear Arlen up or what. Heard a little
Yeah.
something back there. Maybe my building's
Anyway,
falling down.
I'll let somebody
Yeah.
else in here. Nobody said they love you today. I love you.
Thanks, Dano. Hope to see you
All right.
soon. Have a great day. Okay, so the link, I'm going to post the link again. There's the link for any of you that might be interested. Come on the live. We'll cover any topic that you want to cover as long as you're willing to show your face. And of course, as always, we extend this invitation to John anytime. Anytime John wants to cam up and we can have a conversation, I'm happy to do so. That's for sure. So we covered all of that. Michael, they sound the same to me with the exception of saying after everything. They sound Sunset Travel. Michael, I gotta. Oh, we're talking about Canadians and Americans. So Sunset says that Canadians and Americans sound the same. Okay. That makes whatever floats your boat, Sunset. Whatever works for you, that's for sure. Oh, man, oh, man. I'll tell you, Alaska CPU has made me have to work now. I used to do membership videos and I quit doing them because I just felt like if I can't bring that information to all of you, I'm cheating some of you. But since he gave away 20 memberships to the membership side, I'm going to have to start producing content again. And so I will. I will do that as if I wasn't lazy enough already. My God. Ace Bachelor Cool Chubbs Dub C had 121,000 views on the latest video. High rise building. Yeah. Good for him. Good for him. Hey, Ace, do you think Chubbs will buy lunch for us? 121,000 views. Better yet, maybe he could sponsor another single at 40 bar hop. Yeah, there you go. So I said, no offense, Mike. We're talking about people that keep calling Aussies British. Yeah, I you know what? I have to admit that they're you know what? That's not true. I have Australian friends here, and their accents are not super strong. Even your accent is not super strong at all. But my British friends, believe it or not, I do have a couple British friends. Their accents are pretty strong. Tim Desiak, I don't sound like my Canadian niece and nephew. Okay. Philly in the Philippines. Chubbs was boots on the ground for the coverage. Good for him. Good for Chubbs. There is nothing that I wanted to do. Literally, I could think of no reason to go out there when it was 98 degrees in the sun and stand on the street 2 blocks away to try and get footage. More power to Chubbs. That's what you call a job. I'm just not a job. I'm not going to do it. YouTube is not a job for me. The Brofessor is here. Good morning. Good morning, Brofessor. How's things going? Dragnets. Just the facts, Brian. Just the facts, Brian. Dragnet. So I'm going to put this link up again. If you would like to join the live stream, if you're willing to go on cam and you've got thoughts, concerns, topics that you'd like to cover, we're happy to do so. That's for sure. That is everything that we could imagine. There's no doubt. Sunset. I'm raised in the South, probably the only one you've met. We sound English, the white ones, that is. Okay. Good morning. So, Brian, how's things going over in Shergow? I guarantee you, if Brian had been in town, he would have beat Chubbs down there. And quite honestly, I think Brian would have probably been able to get better access than Chubbs. I don't know. I do know we have a friend who, don't you love this? A friend of a friend. We have a friend who has a friend, this certain young lady, who actually lives in that area. And we were concerned about her for a little bit. But he got in touch with her. She's all fine. We don't know of anybody personally impacted by it. Eaton Beaver. I wouldn't be standing around with all those power lines, transformers, and unstable condition. Something else. You're right, Eaton Beaver. You're right. There could be other issues. But I'm just not. I just don't, the news channels are going to do a much better job and they're going to have much better access than a YouTube vlogger. Okay. All good in Koreatown. That is good. Yeah, you don't have these problems there. I like Koreatown, man. There's some great restaurants in Koreatown. Good morning. People saying hello. I'm telling you. I'm going to post the link up again. If you have a topic you want to cover or you want to bitch, moan, groan, rant, whatever, cam up. Cam up. PDX Leroy, that would be Portland, if I'm not mistaken. Did the construction of the new train line have anything to do with the building? Well, no, I don't know. But I will show you this, okay? I will show you this. Hang on just a second, okay? So, right here, this is where the building was. And then down here is where we live. So, this whole area, this is the train line that's coming through. Right up through here as I go up and down. All right. This is where it's going to be. So I would say it was less than 100 yards from there. So is it possible? I don't know. I mean, but the authorities are the ones that are going to have to come up with it. and figure it out. It's not going to be something that I could um, could guess on, and I certainly wouldn't want to get involved in a libel issue. If you think cost is crazy in the Philippines, cost of concrete in Michigan is pushing $180 to $200 per yard for cost of 5 yards. You can get 15 in the field for the same cost of labor, including on my building. Wow. I don't, it doesn't, to me, I don't know. We haven't, it's been 4 years since we built our house. So, hang on. The Brofessor's coming in. Let me try and bring that up. There we go. Brofessor.
What's going on?
What are you doing this morning, young man?
I'm just chilling, having me well, it's 7 o'clock, but I had to break out to Johnny Walker.
It's 5 o'clock
Good to see
somewhere,
you.
right?
Exactly. Matter of fact, when the building came down, apparently Honey Bunny was the first on scene. He was there like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So Chubb wasn't the first. Honey Bunny was there already.
Yeah. Somebody else said that as well. And, good for Honey Bunny. Good for him. More power to him. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I am not out and about.
No, me either. I ain't been out in a week.
I think the last time we went out, we went to dinner last Thursday night. We went to dinner, and we haven't been. We've been to the store and a couple of other things, but we haven't been out and about. And I think we were home, 10:30. We were back home.
Nice. Have you been having trouble with Converge lately?
Yeah, they were down. I think it was yesterday. They were down yesterday morning. They were down, and they were down. I think. All right, so this is the best that I can recollect. They were down yesterday morning. They were down till about 7 in the morning or 6 in the morning. They were back up, but it was slow. And even right now, I'm supposed to have 200 up and down. And even now, I did a speed test earlier this morning, and I'm still at like 130. So but considering all the power lines and all the data lines that got tore up, hang on a second. Let me set this up. Considering all the lines that got, whoops. Let me see here. There we go. There we go. Considering all the lines that got tore up, okay, I'm surprised I've got internet. So, or I'm surprised Converge is still working in our area. Good morning, Philly.
Right.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
What's up,
I'm
Brian?
on my phone. Good morning, bro.
We got a double 215 in the house.
Yeah, I am here. I can confirm it that, Honey Bunny was first on the scene. I seen his video pop up early the morning, but I was like, what the hell is he talking about? This was before kind of like everything broke out. The news broke. But then when I was doing my live, Mike sent me the video, and I wasn't aware of the extent of it. I'm just like, a building fell. Then after the live stream, I started looking into it. I'm like, holy shit, this is major. Major.
Anybody got any guesses on the cause?
No, I until there's like official statements put
Right.
out, everybody can guess. Rumors are flying. I see what comments people are leaving. Until an official statement is put out, we'll see. But
Right.
the bottom line, you know whose name is going to be held responsible? When they build buildings around here, they put those big white signs up on construction sites, who the contractor is, how long it's going to take, how many millions of dollars. Whoever's name is up there on that paper, on those big billboards that they put up, that's who's responsible.
Well, I will tell you this: the name that they put up was Asian, not Filipino, and I'll guarantee you he ain't in the country anymore.
No.
Down the road.
All right.
No.
I think he would have been on the 7 a.m. flight out of Clark anywhere.
If he was even in country.
If he was, yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But what are you hearing about rescue? Like, I was reading, on, the news media and stuff, and they were saying like it took hours before the first people even arrived.
No, I heard right. I heard the fire department was on the scene pretty quick. All right. But at the same time, who knows what you're measuring? I don't know, but I heard that the fire department was up on Fields Avenue. They didn't go down Theodora until later, but they were on Fields Avenue within the first 45 minutes. But that's what I heard, and I don't know if it's true, to be honest with you. Brian, there's so much bullshit and lies and everything else. I mean, we can get the professor, he could write a novel between now and noon about the entire event, and people would believe it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll throw a little AI in there. It'll be lovely.
Well, back in, we're in the States, there's a protocol when things like that happen. First responders show up. People are notified. Search and rescue comes in. The fire department comes in. Dogs are brought in to find people, to find bodies. They do have those protocols here. It's just where they located. You might have a search and rescue team all the way down in Manila. And then they've got to come all the way up from Manila to set up, and their protocols. It's just things move slow here.
Yeah, and I think somebody made a comment the other day or yesterday in another live stream that I was watching from one of the news channels that said that they thought that we're going to see the city is going to start inspecting every high rise that's already built, that they're going to go look at it and inspect them. And I'm like, you know what? They can't even fucking dig a ditch out on Fields Avenue. All right. It's taken them, think about it like this. Both you and the professor, everybody here, I'm sure, has seen the pictures on the news. All right. There are 2 holes that have been dug on Fields Avenue going on 8 months old that still aren't done. All they're doing is, and each one of these holes is maybe 10 feet deep, 8 feet wide, 10 feet long. They're going to lower a pipe in it, and those holes still aren't done after 8 months. So you imagine how long, because Brian, you remember, you've been up and down Theodora Street many times. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Can you imagine how long it's going to take to clean that up? There's no access.
Oh, they'll clean that all up. And I think with something that big, I think they'll get on that quicker than normal. Let's put it that way. The issue will be the power lines. Is there power in Angeles City, or is it isolated and shut off around that area?
It's isolated. I mean, like I said, we're probably 300 yards as the crow flies. We're one street over, and we have city power. All right. The power during the storm and for a few hours after the storm flipped in and out maybe 3 or 4 times for a few minutes here and there. But since 5 o'clock yesterday morning, we've had uninterrupted city power.
Did you go to the rooftop there and can you see?
Yeah.
You can. Okay. I was wondering if you could go up there and see that. The only thing missing that I would have done differently if I was there, because JR told me that, that the Philly and the Philippines should have made an emergency visit up and covered it. All right. But I talked to the production crew, but we didn't have the money for that. You know what I mean? Our production crew is not very big. The only thing, and I think somebody did it, is a drone shot. I'd put a drone up in there.
Somebody did.
My drone is down.
I thought I'd seen that.
Yeah, my drone is down in the province, and I'm not going to go buy another drone just to fly it over there. If CJ is listening, he's got one of those new DJI flips. He should bring it over here to Palace, and we'll fly it over from our rooftop over there and see what happens.
There you go.
But honestly, Brian, I was pretty convinced you were going to get in your helicopter and you were going to be here by breakfast. I mean, I was literally going to call Mark Savino and have him get the helipad over on Tower 2 ready for you.
Yeah, well, it's what it is. Well, listen, Mike, I got to go. I just woke up. I got to finish my coffee and do my morning routine. But yeah, I just wanted to check in to see if there's, any facts as far as casualties, people trapped, rescue, things like that.
The only thing that I know of so far is initially there was one rescue. All right. Mm-hmm. And then there were 2 fatalities, and is the last that I've seen reported. But I'm sure we'll see more.
Right. All right. I'm going to go.
All right, Brian. Thanks for dropping in. Thanks for dropping in. So
the Philippines need an OSHA.
It needs OSHA. It could use something, that's for sure. But I mean, I think the Philippines has some sort of OSHA thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they enforce it, but I think they have some sort of OSHA.
When I'm seeing them boys up there on them scaffoldings and flip-flops, no. I don't know who's enforcing what.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They're building. You see them building. I'm watching. So across the street from us right now, they are building a single story place, and they're doing a great job. I mean, they put up a beautiful wall on this property. It was well done, and then they put a steel cage, a steel frame all the way around it. And
Nice.
then they've been, now they've been doing the roofing, and it's all steel. And they've been doing, I mean, these guys have been doing a hell of a job. In fact, they got the last bit of the roofing on maybe 4 hours, 3 hours before that rainstorm hit yesterday.
Woo.
And, but some of these guys, you know, they're up there climbing around, doing everything on with flip-flops on, sandals. You know? So Michael says,
yeah,
go ahead.
I know things are different here, but they have to do something about that.
They're going to have to do, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. It really and truly will. Michael says, I held off building my place for 5 years, waiting for sewer to be put in. Guess what? Still waiting for sewers. Could not wait any longer. I built. Yeah, we have our place in the province. We have a septic tank.
Got to go septic.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. Where do you get your Bookham Dano? James Gilbert's asking Bookham Dano, where do you get your cigars? I don't know. Norma Money Changer is damaged. Yeah, Norma's damaged. Amigos is closed indefinitely, they said. So we'll find out.
Damaged?
Huh?
Is it damaged?
Amigos is closed and damaged.
Yeah, because I talked to Desmond, the owner, and he said, "Yeah, Amigos is gone." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Yeah. Did Desmond get the San Fernando Amigos open?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think he did. I think they did. Because he doesn't have Miko's anymore.
Mike, go do parasailing and cut the rope. Do a live fly. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Michael
Yeah,
Haytos. I'm certainly
right.
going to give that a try. Yeah, no problem, Michael. No problem. And you know what? While I do that, I'm going to tie an anvil to my left leg. McLovin would have been great to find a hillbilly to interview about the collapse. You know what? We need Hillbilly Pyro. I don't know if you guys have seen him. He's a longtime subscriber to the channel. He loves blowing crap up. Hillbilly Pyro would have been interesting to get his take on this.
What's up, McLovin?
Bobby Gill, what about building inspectors, though, that there's crazy dead people would invest all kinds of money into building a building and cut corners on construction? Bobby, people will do anything to make $1. You know that. All right? It is just the way it is. People will do anything to make $1.
Now you would think, I don't think they invest too much into earthquake proofing the buildings, but the wind just took that place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even going to speculate until we know more, because that thing looks like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the photos. All right. That place looks like a nuclear bomb went off. That's not like a bunch of slabs. That thing's down in pieces.
Yeah, big chunks of concrete and scaffolding and pipes and rebar and everything everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, good Lord. They had 30 people working that night.
Yeah, that seems like a pretty big crew for that size of building. I mean, the building they're building across the street, now it's nowhere near that size, but it's 4 guys.
Right? I'm wondering now if they're going to rethink the new candy thing.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I watched them build Palace, and I watched them build White Tower. And in both of those, they brought in cement trucks and pumpers, and they had the forms and they pumped it. All right. And they literally brought in like extension booms that went 14 stories pumping pre-mixed concrete all the way up. So I think
concrete.
Yeah, I think Savino does a pretty damn good job.
Or the contractor,
he makes sure that the contractor does.
Yeah, I'm like, God, Lord, what else could happen here?
I don't know, but that's another nail in the tourism coffin of Angeles City.
I think so.
I mean, this is going to be a public thing, and people are going to worry about it.
That's why I don't like being in any building 5 stories up. No, I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm on the ground.
You're on the ground. Yeah. You're not even worried about that second floor above you, huh?
Nope. I can deal with 1 floor coming on me.
I understand. I truly understand. Bill says infrastructure here never seems to improve. How do you progress as a country if you don't upgrade and improve things? You know what, Bill? That's why I'm not a politician. That's why I'm not a mayor or a governor or any of that shit. All right? I'm a nobody, and I don't have answers. Not for that.
And I'm gonna stay a nobody.
Yeah, there you go. So are you traveling anytime soon, Professor?
Yeah, I plan on heading down to Cavite and then maybe back down to Olongapo.
Okay.
Or fly back to Washington State, see what's going on over there.
Okay. I have a lot of my friends are traveling this week. I got one friend in the U.S. 2 other buddies are in Alaska right now. Got another friend that's got a trip planned to Vietnam next month. A lot of them moving around.
Honey Bunny plan on moving back to the States in September.
Is he?
Yes, he got to go home.
I guess mommy's money ran out.
They don't. According to him, they don't even want him to stay in the guest room.
Well, you know what? He's a young guy, and he's got a future to think about.
Yep, 37 years old or something like that.
He needs, unfortunately, unless he hits the lottery or the pick 3 or some scratcher tickets, he needs a job to plan for his future.
You need a job now. And the job market, when he gets back home, you're talking about culture shock coming here. Wait till he gets back in the States. OMG, he's going to North Carolina. Excuse me. He's going back to North Carolina to try to find work. We've been giving him suggestions, oil field and joining the military and all this craziness. I'm like, it ain't going to be that easy.
Not in North Carolina. It's not. I mean, unless he wants to pick cotton or tobacco. All right. I mean, I'm from North Carolina, and I'm going to tell you right now, you've got Research Triangle area up there at Raleigh-Durham. And so I'm pretty sure he does not have a high-end degree from an Ivy League school. And then in turn, he's going to be picking cotton, which is done by machine now anyway. So now that ain't going to work. Picking tobacco.
He's got to do something. He can't stay here. He cannot stay here.
Nah. Well, he's had a good run. He's had a good time.
He got 2 years in here. Matter of fact, He was here with me last night. We were sitting around drinking and talking.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Professor, the flip flops are shanked. Come on, man. What's wrong with his what's wrong with his flip flops?
I'm in the house, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, at least he's wearing flip flops. I'm sitting here barefoot. Not that I'm going to show you.
Hold on. I want to show them dogs.
Flood management will take care of the inspecting thing. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, right.
Loving saying, hey.
What's up, McLovin?
So Bruce says if the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers were there to clean up the mess, it'd be cleaned up in a week. Maybe. I don't know. I've never seen them at work, to be honest with you. But it's going to take. I mean, mark my words. It is. What is it? It is May 25th. I'll bet you it'll be 8 months before you can drive down that street. McLovin says you're looking younger, Professor.
Well, thank you. I attribute that to, 1 meal a day and Johnny Walker.
Bobby Gill says you can do anything to make $1, but you should also protect your investment. If it's your money, I mean, we often saw in the U.S., we would often see businesses that were set up where, you would have a general manager put together a business. They used to call them LLPs, limited liability partnerships, where you would have a general manager and your investors. And the general manager would put in like 2% of the capital funding, and then you'd have the investors, and the general manager was making a ton of money, and the investors, they got no say-so in any of it. Bruce Sender, most stick wielders don't even have gloves or a helmet, let alone a leather jacket or fireproof pants. Yeah. Hopefully the train stays on track. Yeah, I hope it does. Did you see the train station that's like the underground station that's almost completely built now? That's a they just released it. I might have to do a video on that. Maybe. I don't know. Bruce Sender probably having a smoke too. The introverted California. Alongapo is a much better place to live, near Subic Bay. Where somebody lives is wherever it works best for them. Okay? I mean, we all have different ideas, different tastes, different things that we like and live with. Like the professor. Okay? He lives in Koreatown. Great restaurants. Traffic's not nearly as bad as where I live. Okay? Mm-hmm. But it's still, a little tricky. But good shopping. I think the crime rate's probably lower in Koreatown than where I live.
Damn near zero.
Yeah. So, I mean, how would you compare that to Olongapo? I mean, there's no beach. Sure, there's no beach. But then again, there are, whatever it is that makes the professor happy, then who are we to argue with that shit? Who are we to tell him you should live somewhere else? We're not.
No. I like it right here. I don't care what they say about Red Street, Walker Street. That's not what I came here for.
So Todd says, with Walking Street volume down, is investing in hotels or condos in Angeles wise? I don't know if it's YouTube algorithms, but seems like building a hotel in Philly's area would be better. I don't know. And I wish I could give you an answer for that. Like, we own a condo here, but we live in it. When I die, will Arlene turn it into rental property? I imagine she'll have a go at it. She'll, more than likely, Arlene will move back to the province, maybe be an OFW. I don't know. Maybe she'll be, bumping uglies with another white guy. Who knows? But will she, she'll have it available to try and put it into the Candy rental pool. She'll have it available to try and have rental property. But for her, it'd be a different solution because she's not trying to recoup what she paid for the condo. Condo's already paid for. But if I had to chunk out 10, 12, 20 million for a condo and then worry about getting that kind of return on investment, that's just not it's just not something I could do. I don't know enough about it, Todd. I really don't.
And now, Todd, if you ask Brian what's going up there in Surigao, you don't want to build there. It's going to cost you way more, and you're going to have to jack up the prices of whatever you build in there because the foreign tourists is jacking up the prices for the locals. You're not going to do well up there. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm just not a real estate guy. That's not, I mean, I have never bought a property to specifically flip it. Every property I've ever owned, I've either lived in or had a family member in.
Right.
So I can't tell you. The introverted Californian says, why rent or buy a new condo when you can rent a well-built house in other areas? For some people, okay, so why rent or buy a condo? Well, I have 24-hour security on site. I have a parking garage to put my car out of everything. But you know what? You could buy a house or rent a house with a garage. Okay. I have a swimming pool upstairs. I have a restaurant. I have a gym. Like, all right, obviously I don't go to the gym. Okay. I'm not going to lie. But Arlene does on occasion. She actually, you can't see it, but behind this green screen, Arlene has a full treadmill, weights, everything. She works out a couple days a week. But, there are reasons people like it. It's, I don't have to worry about Arlene and I jumping over to the province for a month. And is my house going to be okay? I know that security here is going to keep an eye out on it. I know that housekeeping is going to come in. Now, I will have to I'll give them a little tip, but they're going to come into my condo and check on it on a daily basis. I don't have to worry about it when Arlene and I shoot over to Thailand or when we go to the province or when we go to wherever. That's one of the benefits. The tourists are not even coming to Balibago anymore. Balibago is not even a second thought. Since when was Balibago a tourist destination? Other than Walking Street is technically Balibago.
Right.
Professor, let Honey Bunny use that couch. There you go.
Unfortunately, this is the owner's couch. It's not mine. I rent the place furnished.
Ah. The thing to do is rent a nice place in your favorite beach town. And when you get tired of the heat and humidity, spend a few months renting a place in Baguio where the weather's cooler. It's nice. You know what? And that's the beauty of doing what you want to do. You know, if that's what works for you and for other people, that's great. That's great. I find nothing desirable about Baguio at all.
Me
Nothing
neither. Not
desirable.
them and those hills. And no. Mm-mm.
You know,
No.
Arlene loves to go up to Baguio. She, because of the vegetables in the park. And I found, I wouldn't live in Baguio, but Arlene probably would. Michael, in Cebu, I saw the storm sewer cleaning truck one day. It was a Rubbermaid push cart with a broom dustpan and a toilet snake. I shook my head. It was by the Robinsons Mall at the traffic circle. Wow. Yeah, that's some high tech stuff there.
What they
Tim
say now?
Disiak, culture shock.
Technology.
Yeah, culture shock is very difficult for many expats. Let me catch up on a couple of these comments here. I would never waste my prime working years just sitting around here. It's okay if you're old, retired with multiple pensions. Yeah, Bill. I would not. No. Well, I did not. I did not waste my prime working years here. I don't know how these young guys do it, but if it makes them happy. Well, if you're old and retired, you can still go island hopping. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. We enjoy island hopping. Michael says Mike's in his underwear doing a live like Porky. No, I got on a pair of gym shorts. I got on a pair of gym shorts. A dump truck on that street would be a tight fit. Could you even get a crane down there? They're going to have to get a crane down there of some sort. They're going to have to get something. I mean, that pile of rubble's 30 feet high. They're going to have, you know what? Maybe they'll make people climb up there, hope it doesn't fall any further, and start tearing stuff down piece by piece. But I got no idea. The corruption in the Philippines is no worse than the corruption in Mexico. The Philippines is way safer. It's definitely way safer. Definitely. We used to own a place in Mexico. Honey Bunny's thinking is going to get short-term job and come back with 150,000 US. Good luck. You know what? I don't want to crush anybody's dream. Anything is possible. All right? That's just all there is to it. He could go to work on one of those North Sea oil rigs and make 150,000, free room and board, free meals, and make 150,000 in 6-8 months. Now he still have to pay taxes on it. So for him to make 150, he's going to have to make at least 240. And I don't know. He doesn't strike me as the $240,000 a year type employee. I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. Okay? But who knows?
He's not. He's shiftless.
He's okay.
I mean, when you see, I saw Leon was coming down fields one day, and Honey Buddy was just walking like this with his head down. I'm like, what? Huh? What? What? What's wrong with you? And then he didn't even recognize Leon. Then Leon turned the camera, and then no, you can't walk around here with your head down.
Well,
Mm-mm.
uh,
I
yeah,
mean, don't get me wrong. That's my boy. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta look out for him. I gotta give him shit because I'm trying to snap him the fuck up out of what he's in.
I don't know. I've actually never met Honey Bunny. I've never met him. But I don't go out at 11 o'clock to 3 in the morning.
Yeah, he's striking the streets early in the morning looking for free cookies or 500 peso cookies. I'm like, no.
Lord. Tim Deziak, paradise is the area you live. You just need to seek to make it your own. Yeah. Sunset Travel. If you want the holiday 2-week millionaire, AC is the place to do it. If I was only going to be a 2-week millionaire, where would I go? I would probably do, to be honest with you, Sunset, I wouldn't do Angeles. I would probably do the beach, somewhere at the beach. You know, Boracay, Coron, El Nido. I would want 2 weeks of beautiful, beautiful environment.
I do BGC.
Yeah. I was in Olongapo. McLovin says I was in Olongapo last month, and it's a dump with beaches you can't swim at. I feel more comfortable walking around Angeles than in Olongapo. Yeah. I think Olongapo's claim to fame is Overstay Road, and that's about it. You know, the Subic is full of lahar, all right? And it's going to be 200 years before all of that gets diluted and washed out of there. Honey Bunny is really disillusioned, really delusional. He's planning on getting a job starting at $150K a year when he gets back to the U.S. Wow. Well, I guess there's nothing wrong with having goals, right? I mean,
or being delusional.
You know, you got to have a goal. Z-Man watching tonight from Texas. Wow. Thank you. Thank you, Z-Man. Thanks for dropping in. Hi, Mike. I'm watching tonight from Texas. Oh, I got that already. How'd I screw that up? McLovin, I'm planning on buying a condo when I return to Angeles in July because why throw money away on rent? McLovin, where are you at now? I thought you were back in Angeles. Fresh strawberries. Yeah, up in Baguio. I highly doubt he would deal with Honey Bunny for longer than 2 days. Then he'd have to burn the couch.
All right, be nice now.
Bookham Dano, Heidi doing out her hair, skin short. I don't know. I don't know what that shorthand's for. Not sure what it means. Are they doing a live stream? I don't know.
Yeah, she's on now.
Oh, okay. Scoot B, good morning, Scoot. Good morning, Doc Mike Enberg. Good morning, Maximus. How you doing, young man?
What's up, Max?
I ran into Maximus one morning over at Tequila Reef. He stopped in to say hello. Nice guy. Eating Beaver. I got a feeling Honey Bunny's going back when he is going to be back when he's 62. Well,
at least.
You know what, Eden? I'll tell you what. I'll be dead. When Honey Bunny's 62,
That's what I told him last night.
Yeah. I will have been dead. My ashes will have been scattered. And I'll be haunting the shit out of whoever has pissed me off. I want to be one of those kind of ghosts that just raises hell. Welcom, Professor, hold up a piece of paper that says we can't hear you. I hear him. I hear the professor. Yeah, my microphone's working.
Testing.
Yeah, my microphone's working.
Mine's working.
Yeah.
I got the goofy headset.
Patty 2-week million. Yeah, you know what? Maximus is absolutely correct. That's a better way. If I was going to be a 2-week millionaire, it'd be in Pattaya. That's where I would go to be a 2-week millionaire. You're absolutely correct. And McLovin agrees, same thing. Eden Beaver, OPJ. Honey Bunny provided the top 5 Phil's live stream moment when a shady guy sat outside his door waiting for. There's no look. He has done some entertaining shit. Okay, there's no way around that. He's done some entertaining stuff, and we cannot argue that. He's also done some stuff that quite frankly is almost a little shady, and not shady on his part, but I mean reckless. I guess reckless is a better way of saying it. I tried watching Overstay and realized watching paint dry is more entertaining. I don't watch Overstay. I've met him several times over the years. I watch it every now and then, but you know, it's just not my stuff. Mike, I was commenting regarding the rental business you were talking about. Mine is busy all year round with 2-week millionaires. Nice. You know what? If it works, it works. And that's even better. And that shows you how little I know about real estate. That is something that I just could not help you with. All Honey Bunny needs to do is buy a Powerball or Mega Million ticket and pray for a winner. I'm going to tell you, Maximus, if Honey Bunny wins the Powerball or the Mega Millions, you'll never see him back in the Philippines. You will not.
Nope.
He will not.
Probably landed
If
in
he
Thailand
was
somewhere.
If he was filthy rich, he would move to either South Beach, Miami, or Vegas, and it would be a line of hookers out the door. That's all there is to it. If he were that rich.
No, he's still frugal. He'll be here trying to get 500 peso cookies. He'll come back.
Oh my God. McLovin, I came back to the States. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You have a real estate transaction that you had to take care of. I forgot all about that, McLovin. Thanks. Philly in the Philippines. Oh my God, Heidi cut her hair. Well, when I get done with my live stream, I guess I'll have to go take a look at hers.
Let's see.
Heidi got a pixie cut. Good for her. More, I mean,
like?
I don't know.
You look like Mo?
I don't know. Apparently, she got a haircut.
Oh, yeah. Snap!
Uh-oh. It must be radical.
She looked like a dyke.
Man, I'm telling you, views must be down. If you have to go do that, I mean, no offense to Heidi and George, but that's getting fucking desperate for views. Mike, wonderful day. Wonderful day Mike, here, Scoot B. Rained hard yesterday, took out the bridge into the subdivision. I have to wait for the creek to drop so I can drive across it. Wow, Scoot. Well, I hope everything goes okay.
Oh my goodness! What did
McLovin,
you do?
I crunched the numbers, and if I pay rent for 6.5 years, that's the price of a condo. Yeah. And then you can do what you want. I mean, by the time you put your HOA service fee in there and your tax, but it works. It works. I mean, that's why we bought the condo. The numbers work. Audio is fine for both of you. Okay.
Thanks, Max.
Wow. I can't believe 2 hours and 21 minutes into a live stream, which is a long live stream for us, number one. Number two, I don't have a single thumbs down. That's a little depressing. All right. My trolls are not beating me up. All right. But I'm still at 65 in the room 2 hours in.
Mm-hmm.
Maximus, most are 2-week millionaires. Yeah. And Maximus, I'm guilty of that. When Arlene and I take my daughter to Thailand, it's a 2-week millionaire. It really is. I mean, the sky is the limit. Whatever she wants and whatever Arlene wants, wherever they want to go, all the events, the dining, the shopping. There we go. There's my thumbs down. I knew I'd get one sooner or later. That makes me feel better. All right. It wouldn't be a live stream without one of my trolls thumb downing me. It just wouldn't.
Let me see. Who was that?
Mike Atos.
I think before she went bald, Sinead O'Connor had a haircut like that.
What, she cut all her hair off?
Oh my God. She ain't bald, but she almost looked like Mo.
Oh my God. Well,
that's what I said.
If she
more power to her.
More power to her. Exactly, Professor. Exactly. Michael Etos, a 2-week millionaire. I'd be in AC sleeping on Mike's couch at Candy Palace. Yeah. And Arlene would have a mop brush up your ass. All right. Arlene doesn't let anybody. I got to tell you, it's very rare that we let people stay with us. Now, my daughter, Arlene's sister, and okay, now I'll be honest, we have had dinner parties, and I have woken up to have 2 or 3 people passed out on the floor, all right, in the morning, but not staying with us. Philly, oh my God. Would a true millionaire be happy in Angeles City? I know several. You know what, Z-Man? This is funny. It's funny you should say that, okay? So we have a lot of expat friends, okay? I know one British guy who's definitely a millionaire. I have 2 American expat friends that are millionaires, okay? All right, that I know personally. Professor, he's not broke. It's Professor, not broke-fessor, okay?
Thank you very much.
Could you be happy? It doesn't matter how much money you have. It only matters what you spend it on. Okay? And quite honestly, the millionaires that I know are pretty darn conservative with their money. They're very strict. They didn't get to be a millionaire by throwing their money away.
We don't go crazy.
Eaton Beaver. Maximus, know him, would probably misplace the ticket. McLevin, when I was in AC, I delivered Honey Bunny a pizza to his place, and I have been in nicer projects in Chicago. I don't know where Honey Bunny lived. I really don't. I did see a live stream that he did from his room, and it's not a place that I could call home. Scoot B, I think Mike should do a haircut video. It definitely would be short. Yeah. You know, I mean, but I don't want to lose my standing as Uncle Fester. All right? I mean,
Right.
I don't want to lose my standing as Uncle Fester. I live in British John's brain. In fact, Uncle Fester lives in British John's brain so well. I get free rent, I get free electric, free water, everything. I live in him, you know. I get free rent in his head. It's great. I love it. Eaton Beaver, Mike, you will banned again. Who knows? Who knows? I've been banned 3 or 4 times in Antics channel. Always a misunderstanding. You know, it's not the end of the world. Okay, it's not. Bobby Gill, he is mentally unstable. I don't think he means to have things happen to him. And Professor bailed him out many times. Professor tries to help. So you must know, you know Honey Bunny pretty good, Professor?
Yeah, he's on the spectrum.
He's on the spectrum? Is he on the spectrum or driving the spectrum?
He probably created it.
There you go. Amigo says, oh, I just seen that hair. Oh, my God. Okay. So, McLovin, Heidi said she is reaching out to Rafi Tulfo to save her. Good luck. I mean, I didn't know that Rafi did coronary surgery. I didn't know he was a surgeon. You know, Heidi has a significant health problem, and let it be. I mean, I hope she solves it. I don't wish bad on anybody. It doesn't matter how good, bad, great they are. All right. Nobody needs to see another human being in a bad way. Nobody needs to see, nobody should wish that on anybody. Scoot B, I'm just wondering how long it will take them to put a temp bridge up big enough to get a 4x4 to get out. I got no idea, Scoot. If they need it, they'll build it. Maximus, Hyde is going for the chemo look. It'll push her skin cancer as her pressing medical diagnosis instead of heart issues. Whatever her strategy is, it is. I mean, it's hard for me to comment on that. You know, the report that I saw from her echo, all right, by all standards, by the standards of the American Cardiac Association, the ACA, all right, the Cardiovascular Association of America, she has congestive heart failure. Okay, that is not it is clinically driven, points driven diagnosis. Okay. If your ejection fraction is under 40, you have congestive heart failure. To the degree, to the point, to whatever, that's all a whole different video. Michael Atos, extra income stream, bro, and property money in the bank. Yeah. It'll work. Some people work. Ricky, Heidi looks like Mo. You mean Mo Howard from the Three Stooges?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Professor says that's who she looks like. I didn't say it. Professor did.
I'll take that.
Looks like Heidi went to a Korean barber shop. Wow. Okay. Michael Atos. Many millionaires live like they are lower middle class. Yeah, they're normal people. What's wrong? You know, it's I'm gonna say this and I'll get in trouble for it, and there'll be some negative feedback. It's not impossible to become a millionaire. It's not improbable to become a millionaire. Is it, you know, are there obstacles? Sure, there are. Generally speaking, one of those obstacles is you. If you're going to waste your money, you're an obstacle to becoming whatever. But that doesn't mean.
Reminds me of Mike. You know what that reminds me of? Back in Philadelphia when that armored truck lost all that money,
Yeah.
and and those boys start spending. That's what you don't do. Flashing the money. Mm-mm. No.
Yeah.
Buying furs and cars. Mm-mm.
I think one of, that would probably be, I should do that. Top 10 reasons, top 10 obstacles to becoming a millionaire. And one of them is going to be ex-wife number 1. And the next one will be ex-wife number 2. That's got to be in the top 10 obstructions to becoming a millionaire. But you yourself have got to be one of those reasons.
And child support.
Sunset. I'm building right now and we'll have a 5-room hotel in the building, no renting by the hour. Oh, come on, Michael. You're not going to do. Are you saying you're only going to rent in 30-minute segments? Is that what it is? Maximus. Heidi going for the Fantine looks from Les Mis after she sells her hair. Heidi thinks she looks like Anne Hathaway in that shaved hairstyle. Well, more power to her. That's all I can say.
Yep. Right on, sister.
Watch, I see a GoFundMe for a weave coming soon. Oh, McLovin. Oh, my God. Oh, Michael, nice. Nothing like owning. That's for sure. Sunset, a mixed-use building, 4 stories on the province by Diblog. Okay. Okay, Honey Bunny, definitely the rode the short bus. I don't know if he rode the short bus, but he is a unique, that's for sure. All right, guys. I am going to have to, we're 2 hours and 33 minutes. I need to cut this out. I got stuff I actually have to get done today. So we thank you so much. First off, big thanks out to Alaska CPU for making me work now, giving out all those memberships to my membership section that I had shut down. Thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the views. We hope you have a great, safe day. And our next live stream will be, let's see here, next Saturday. So we'll get out from there. Otherwise, have a great day. Be safe. Take care.